Joining me now is a Daily Express Royal reporter, Pandora Forsyth, and News Corp columnist Angela Mollard. Pandora, the Prince loves his football. From an engagement perspective, how important is the message that this sends?
Well, it's every man's sport here in the UK. It's been around for God knows how long, and it's so relatable to everybody from every different part of society, really. And the fact is, he is supporting a team which isn't Chelsea, one of the really, really big clubs. And he did say that when he was at school. He said, actually, listening to my peers, I wanted to not be a sheep. Which actually I think is quite reflective of how he is in his adult life, and especially now in the position that he's in. So that was really interesting. And he also makes sure that when his kids are at home, he will ensure that they sit in front of the TV and watch it. And he really does hope that his son, one day, George, is going to ensure that he does go there and watch it with him. And he has on a couple of occasions. Now he's a bit older and he can sit there for a full match, which is quite a bit of time, and also with cameras on him. But we did see some fantastic imagery of him in the last couple of weeks where he was sat there and he did get really enthused by it. So, no, that was brilliant to see. And also, I suppose for him, like any sport, when you're really into it, it gives you time to completely switch off. It makes you so much more relatable. It gives you a topic to speak about. And of course, now he's got David Beckham on side, where they get to text each other if he ever needs him to go to an event or anything for him, now that he is an ambassador of the King's Foundation. And anybody in the UK knows how much of a huge legend David Beckham is. I mean, he is quite literally the people's royalty outside of the royal family. So this is such a great friendship. And I do genuinely think it is a friendship between them both. So yeah, extremely relatable. And I guess another bow to William's public viewing image, I suppose, and how he's just getting it right at the moment. As you said at the start of the programme, Caroline, they are just understanding the public, and this year is no exception.
And Angela, I think the King has just kicked off the year with a bang. We're the middle of March, but I feel like he's really moulding himself into the sort of king he wants to be. He's got the fundamentals right, but he's also having a bit of fun. I think that's really important.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. He's everything just in the last couple of weeks, from global peacemaker to Kylie Minogue fan. You know, his Apple playlist is at the top of Apple Music's charts at the moment, which I think is really interesting. Why? I think the question is why. The key is we don't know if he's cured from cancer, if he's going to be cured from it, or he's going to live with cancer. Unlike Kate, who has said that she is in remission, we have had no updates on his condition recently, and certainly there's been nothing saying that he is cured from it. So if indeed he is living with cancer and will continue to live with cancer, then I think he's very much leaning into what he sees as his legacy era. What is this going to stand for? Is it going to be fun? You know, is he going to enjoy these years? He came to the crown late. He's now a 76-year-old man. What is he going to do? I think he's very much distinguishing himself from the late Queen by being a hands-on monarch. His interests are varied, you know, from music to climate to health, all sorts of issues. And of course, that Commonwealth Day service, where this is one of the key jobs of being monarch, is bringing the Commonwealth together. And I think he is doing an exemplary job, as you say.
Now, another shocker of a week for Meghan following the release of her Netflix series. This was the reaction on Gogglebox.
Meghan, as in Meghan Markle.
That's the one.
I don't like her.
Now, is this seriously her house?
Yeah, I assume so.
This isn't my house.
Wait, what?
It's not even her house. It's not her house. Making candles out of beeswax from her own beehives.
It's not her beehive.
And while the candle's set...
Let's go make a beautiful cake.
Oh my God, now she's making a cake.
Cake? What the hell?
See?
Do you know what she's having? She's having a crafternoon.
Do you reckon you'd pay $100 million for this?
That's going to go in all the layers in between.
Oh my God, this girl's exhausting.
Wasn't just here in Australia. Talk TV also waded in with some satire.
Welcome to my beautiful home. What do you mean it's not my f***ing home? Every morning I pick beautiful flowers from my beautiful garden and I feed them to my beautiful children. So what if you haven't got a f***ing garden? I haven't really got any children. I hate f***ing bees. Get me out of this bee suit now. I've always loved taking something pretty ordinary and elevating it. You know, like my husband. It's so funny that people keep calling me Meghan Markle because it's Meghan Sussex now. It's Meghan f***ing Sussex. Meghan f***ing Sussex. Meghan f***ing Sussex.
Pandora, a bit uncouth, and while things have calmed down somewhat, the commentary continues. It just doesn't seem to be improving.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think she's kind of done a bit of an own goal here. She has to be open to criticism and commentary when she is going to be mixing in Hollywood and Netflix series, unfortunately. And that is just something she's going to have to deal with, and her team are going to have to deal with. She has opened herself up now to verging into the Hollywood era of Meghan, which I think is great. She's not slamming the royal family as she is in this Oprah interview, which we spoken about a few times. So I think she's getting it right. She's on the right track. But unfortunately, how she has been advised, or perhaps the road which she is comfortable going down, is not one which is very relatable to the ordinary person. As you said last week, Caroline, you know, is having bees in your garden with a beehive very relatable? No, it's not. Are people going to have the time where they're working mums to be able to create bedside platters almost for their guests if they're lucky enough to have a guest bedroom? No, it's not. So she has to be open to this. But also she did confirm that there is a second series of this. But one thing I would question with that is, was this second series already pre-agreed by Netflix? Or is this just a PR spin to say, oh, because it's been so successful within the first few days, I've guaranteed a new Netflix series on top of this one? I'm not quite sure. I would question that. But what I would say is that we're still speaking about it. So if her PR strategy is, let's get headlines, doesn't matter what they are, well, then she's successful if she can ignore all the negative commentary surrounding that.
I think that's an excellent observation, and I would love to see whether that second series makes it. But one royal observer with a very, very keen eye picked this up.
It nearly lost my name. I mean, there's the loss of identity.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loves it.
It's so funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now.
Angela, Meghan's shifted around a lot on focus and narrative. She was bound to come a cropper at some point, wasn't she?
She was, and it's not the first time. We know in the Oprah interview and the Netflix series that she will say things and then they will be fact-checked and they're not accurate. And I think the thing with Meghan is the first person she needs on the payroll is someone to actually fact-check. She will have had creative control over this, and someone needs to be, which is what would happen if she was working under the palace, saying, you know, you said this back in 2022 and now you're saying this now. Now, if you want to have credibility, then you have to be consistent in what your responses are. But the thing about Meghan is that she's a shapeshifter. She's a hustler. She's always evolving. She's very Hollywood, less royal. So we perhaps need to allow her this. If she's going to be the next Martha Stewart and the next Gwyneth Paltrow, then she is going to, like those two women, be divisive, as Pandora has said. But look, I didn't mind the series. What I mind is when Meghan says one thing and has said the other thing. So that disingenuousness is the issue I have a problem with.
And Pandora, we know that she's desperate to be part of Hollywood, but even within that industry, you know, celebrity chef Jamison Stocks and journalist and biographer Tina Brown, who's had something to say before, both have had a go, haven't they?
Yeah, it's not been great from a commentary perspective. What I would say is there have been a couple of celebrity chefs or well-known chefs who have looked at it, and they're probably looking at it through a chef's eyes. I've got to be completely honest with you. But Meghan has never tried to say that she is a chef. But I do know that it does really rile up chefs when you try and become sort of an influencer around cooking, because you've not had the cooking training to do this. You've not gone through the school. You've not got the grades. So I do understand that. But again, on the same note, is she harming anybody from doing this series? No, it's so light, it's so fluffy, and she's not slamming the royals. So ultimately, in my book, should she be getting the amount of negative commentary that she's getting? No, I don't think it's quite justified. But would I say, could she reel back and get a little bit more as Angela noted, perhaps a little bit more advice along the way so that she doesn't trip herself as much as she wants to, because there will be people who will be scrutinising absolutely every single word Meghan says just to trip her up. And ultimately, this is a multi-million-pound deal, and I really don't understand how people can sort of commission this and get her to go ahead with it once it's not been really gone over with a fine-tooth comb. It's just baffling to me.
And that's not the end of it either. Angela, a podcast about female founders. What do we know?
That's right. Meghan's got a new podcast. It's every day now we get a new Instagram update, don't we? So this is recollections of a female founder. She's going to be interviewing business women who are, at the top of their game. Now, there's a two-pronged interest in this. She wanted another podcast series after obviously doing the archetypes, which was generally regarded as a failure. Look, it got some viewing. When it started, it was getting 1 million listening figures, but of course, Spotify cast her and Harry adrift. That was a $20 million deal. Now, Lemonada, who is producing this podcast, there is no way that Meghan will be being paid anything like that. In fact, interestingly, this company did one of my favourite podcasts, which is Julia Louise-Dreyfus's Wiser Than Me. So I expect high standards from this, and actually a very good podcast. But I think what's really interesting here is there's a synchronicity finally in Meghan's projects, that the As Ever brand, the Netflix show, and now the female founder, they all relate to each other, they all talk to each other, and we're seeing what we hope to see now is her having some cohesiveness in her working life going forward. And look, let's see how it happens. I'll want to listen to this, what we have to hope that it is not the me, which came out from archetypes. She just constantly talked about herself.
Let's hope. Ladies, Angela Mollard, Pandora Forsyth, thank you so much for joining us.